Hello and welcome to Zak's Traders Cafe. Today I'm joined by Francesco Gardin, who's CEO and Executive Chairman at QBT. How are you today, Francesco?
I'm okay. So, thank you very much.
Right. The history of your company, I suppose, for many private investors is that it's a bit like rocket science, although even more complicated. What is the latest in terms of the news that you've delivered and achieved?
Right. So basically, what we announced last week is the achievement of a long journey, which started more than 3 years ago. And basically, we're trying to challenge something which it was thought as unchallengeable, which is to, let's say, crack the code of SHA-256, which is the core algorithm to generate coins. Now, cracking is a strong term, but we always thought that by applying advanced AI to this algorithm, we could somehow improve it. Now, we have several techniques that we use, one of which now has definitely succeeded, which is we can predict the behavior of this algorithm. So basically, we have generated with the AI methods an oracle, and this oracle is basically an oracle, which basically you ask me something, I'll tell you something else. And basically, this oracle is much cheaper to compute than double SHA-256, which is the core algorithm to generate Bitcoin. And it will tell us whether the input to SHA stands a chance to generate above a certain level of difficulty. An output will be successful, which means it will be a winning hash.
So,
So
yeah,
yeah,
so you've sort of cracked the code of Bitcoin rather than this being an advance in computer processing. It's actually the sort of like the DNA of Bitcoin itself, the algorithm of DNA of Bitcoin that you've
it is.
actually
Yes.
found out how it works in a way, and you're able to anticipate how to generate more Bitcoin more quickly.
We are avoiding unnecessary computation. So basically, the way you find a winning hash, the golden hash, is that you try trillions, billion, quadrillions of times all possible inputs until you find a value which is below the target. Of course, we cannot generate a value which is below the target in a quantitative way, but in a qualitative way, we can establish whether the outcome will be below or above the target, which is good enough because when it's above the target, then the computation, the Shasha computation can be avoided.
Obviously, at the moment, a lot of people are trying to mine Bitcoin. It's more attractive the higher it goes, I suppose. When will Bitcoin miners get their hands on your IP, or will they ever get their hands on your IP?
Yes, we're here for business. So basically, since this oracle has to be as fast as the SHA, it can only exist on the chip. So basically, what you have to do is you get an existing ASIC, you add this intellectual property, this architecture on the ASIC, and you boost the performance of the ASIC. So it has to go through a chip. Uh, Manufacturing a chip is a long process, but what really matters is that we own the IP to do it.
So somebody could call you up after seeing this interview and say, "Hey, I want to license your IP. How much is it per month or whatever it is?"
Yeah, well, usually these deals are structured with an upfront payment for the right to use the IP, and then you will get a percentage of any chip sold. Plus, since we have to refresh the neural networks have to be retrained, uh, we will charge a maintenance fee to keep the Oracle up to speed with the evolution of the blockchain.
And I suppose, given that Bitcoin is rather hot at the moment, you would probably have a lot of interest, or you're expecting a lot of interest in what you're doing.
Yes, although the potential partners are very limited because not many companies manufacture Bitcoins, but the ones who do and understand the importance of this can basically catch up in terms if they are behind in terms of performance of their chip, they can catch up and add a nice nearly 30% improve in the speed of their chip.
And in terms of what you've done so far, is this the big breakthrough, or is this just one of a series of breakthroughs you're expecting over the next
Uh,
year or two?
Okay, no, we have two other methods. This one is the first tangible result, which I mean is an IP and therefore is an asset which we can sell. The two others are still ongoing some tests, and the difficulty here is that while on the lab they have an even better performance of 30%, when dealing with existing chips, because they don't need to be on the chip, but they can guide the chip. These chips have so many limitations that we keep twisting and bending our original method, which works in the lab, to adapt to these chips. But these chips are really, really very unusual. So it may well be that at some point we team up with a chip designer and we build a chip which would be ideal to apply our method, as in the case of the Intel chip block scale, which unfortunately was discontinued. But this is definitely not the only harrow that we have at disposal.
So at the moment, you're, I suppose, regarded as a small cap company and sort of frontier on the frontiers of technology and all of that area. Do you think that you could be a company down the line, which is like one of the big US tech giants that you've got a special niche?
We focus on what is the core for generating Bitcoin, which is this algorithm, and we think that we have a worldwide uh, expertise on this subject. Uh, Whether we want to engage in manufacturing these chips, that's not necessarily our priority now. Our priority is to have powerful technologies to license to the big players in the market.
We look forward to more developments, I'm sure. In the meantime, Francesco, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very much, Zach.